Hello everybody, I am not Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is not Wine Library TV, nor The Daily Grape. But since Gary has just shut down his excellent wine review show, I wanted to pay a little homage to the master. I do love wine, but whiskey has always pulled my cork. So in the spirit of Gary V, I want to review a few whiskeys that can enliven the blood. I will also answer the question that's been burning your throat. Does whiskey make you a better writer? Since you're not here, only I can answer that. Let's begin with a familiar but not undistinguished bourbon, Maker's Mark. Of course, it's made in Kentucky, the home of bourbon. 90 proof, made in Loretto, Kentucky. In Gary V's immortal words, let's give it a sniffy sniff. Well, I immediately had a little candy drive off of that. Also maybe a little maple. And if you thought I was going to spit this whiskey like Gary V spits out wine, you're daft. It's got some tang. It's definitely got a lift to it, a crispness, and that kind of bourbon feeling. I had forgotten that Gary always tells you the price of the wine that he's dealing with, and this Maker's Mark, 750 milliliters, about $22 a bottle. Now let's move on to something a little more upscale and much hotter than the 90 proof Maker's Mark. This is Noah's Mill, again, handmade in the hills of Kentucky at 114 proof. If you like a hot bourbon, this will do for you. If you've ever tasted Booker's, which is about 140 proof, that'll really light your hair on fire. Very different bouquet on this one. I get a little burnt caramel on this one. Again, a sweet smell. Maybe even a little tobacco in there. Let's move it down the throat. For a bourbon that really has a little kick on the proof scale, very smooth, very nice, crisp. Very drinkable. I admire a hot bourbon more than the 90 proof bourbons. That last one really lit up the fire. Very nice. This is about 50 bucks a bottle, maybe a little more than $50 a bottle. And I got it at Cask, the wonderful spirit shop in San Francisco. Now we're going to roll out something that really tips the scale to a place where I normally can't go in terms of cash. Pappy Van Winkle's 20-year-old reserve. This for 750 milliliters is about 110 bucks where I found it, and I normally don't shop in that range, but this was a gift. This is 90 proof. Much more floral than the other two. I'd go for pine needles. Maybe even some rose petals, but rose petals that have been crisped, maybe in Satan's kitchen. Very, very clean. Very clean, very nice whiskey taste, very nice finish. A longer finish than either of the other two. Wonderful. Wonderful, but out of my price range. Now we need to answer the critical question whether whiskey makes you a better writer. Now, to do that, I'm going to turn to the icy objectivity of science. Before I began this review, I wrote the word writer on this sheet of paper. I'm going to write it again now. You'll note that the original word falls flat. It's got no verb. It's got none of that certain je ne sais quoi. But this second writer lives. Irrefutable proof. Whiskey does make you a better writer. You, with a little bit of this, are changing my brain cells. Thanks, Gary V.